What's up, guys and gals? Adam here from AdamYourMinnesotaDriver.com. I'm guessing you found this video today because you're interested in learning a little bit more about what it would be like to be a part-time rideshare driver. So let's dig into that. All right, first things first, being a part-time rideshare driver could mean many things. It could mean you're thinking about working 30 hours a week, or you're thinking about working like 3 hours a month, right? So what I want you to do, pause this video right now and think about when you could actually see yourself working, when you would fit it into your schedule, and how long of a shift that would maybe be, okay? Did you actually pause it? I didn't think so. I never do that either when YouTubers tell me to. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. All right, so these are the most profitable times to drive as a rideshare driver. So let's dig into that in order. And if you don't see yourself driving in any of these time slots, I would not recommend driving part-time. Reason is, if you're gonna be driving part-time, you wanna drive when it is the busiest, okay? You'll make more per hour, and you don't wanna mess around with driving during non-peak times if you're just driving a little bit part-time and wanna make some extra money. Drive during these peak hours when you will make the most money, okay? So let's dig into what those peak hours are. First time slot is your weekend driving. This I'm gonna include in this category from Friday around 3 p.m. all the way until Sunday around 6, 7, 8 p.m. Okay, this is a really big time slot, but what this entails, let's break this down a little further. This is bringing people home from work on Fridays, then bringing people out to the bars and to events and stuff like that on Fridays and Saturday evenings. That's kind of that time slot. Then you're bringing people home from bars. This is really crazy. I recommend you be parked outside of a bar with your actual app turned off right around like 2 a.m. Okay, 2 a.m. you want to be parked outside of a bar that's going to have a lot of prime time, and I'll dig into that. I have other resources for you if you're interested about actually pursuing this, about what bars are the best to be parked in front of. But then to turn your app on around 2 a.m. when prime time is spiking to guarantee that you're getting a ride that's anywhere from like 2 to 7 times standard rates. Okay, that's a really, really good way. One great way to do this, if you only want to drive like an hour a week or 2 hours a week or something like that, just pick up 1 or 2 rides at bar close on Friday and Saturday nights. That's a killer time to drive. You will make the most money per hour doing that. Okay, so Friday and Saturday nights, after you have picked people up, brought them home from the bars, airport traffic actually starts to pick up, right? Okay, all the drivers hit the road, but people still need to be moving around. Some people are, you're driving bartenders home then after you drop the passengers off, after you drop the bar goers off, then you start to get some airport traffic, and then it's like really all throughout the weekend, it is busy. It's just, how late do you want to stay up on a Friday and Saturday night, right? I usually go home after bar close, but you can make a lot of money by staying on the road past that time, okay? And then Saturday, Sunday mornings, you get the drive home of shame, right? The walk home of shame, the I'm gonna take a rideshare ride home of shame going on Saturday and Sunday mornings. And then Sundays, people are still hanging out with friends and everything on Sunday, going to events, concerts, doing some day drinking at like the pub down the street or whatever in downtown and need a ride. So all day, all weekend really is a great time to drive. All right, second best time to drive is your AM commuter rush during the week. Let's say this is right around 6:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on weekdays, Monday to Friday. This is bringing people a lot of times from the suburbs to downtown, to Dinkytown-ish area, to uptown area, or uptown to downtown. There is a lot of people that rely on rideshare driving to get to work. Maybe not all the time, not every single day, but a lot of people rely on it if they don't feel like biking that day or don't feel like taking the bus that day or something like that, right? And prime time basically always spikes in the morning, and you're guaranteed to get some rides really rapidly during this time slot. So if you can hit the road for that, that's perfect. Third best time to drive is the evening commuter rush, okay? This is bringing people home from work, right? This is a lot of rides are starting out in the downtown, Dinkytown, uptown area, and you're bringing people back to the suburbs. Or Also, if you find really good industrial areas in the suburbs, bringing people home from these places is really awesome because then you're getting a lot further rides for your evening commuter rush, okay? And you can avoid some of the rush hour. So this evening commuter rush, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m., it's generally pretty busy, and this is bringing people home after work. Another great time to drive is actually Wednesday and Thursday nights. There's a lot of people that are going out to the bars and partying and hanging out with friends, maybe going on dates. They know they'll be drinking, so they take rideshare rides to get there on Wednesdays and Thursday nights. I'll usually, being a full-time rideshare driver, I would stay on the road and I would drive until bar close on Wednesday and Thursday nights a lot of times. And the great thing about this is there are a lot of people still going out, but there's way less drivers on the road. So if you're okay with maybe turning your app off for a little bit on Wednesdays and Thursdays right after the evening commute, waiting a couple hours, hitting the road again after that, and dealing with like then the bar traffic on Wednesdays and Thursday nights, the people going out, going on dates, stuff like that, amazing time to drive, way less drivers on the road. You will make a lot of money during this time slot. Next best time to drive is when the airport is busy. Okay, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on this one because this is constantly changing, and anything I tell you right now could be outdated next week because the airport's constantly changing their rules about picking up at the airport, and it all depends on A, when flights are coming in, right? But B, when there are drivers sitting at the airport when there's not, okay? So this one gets a little more complex. I would say if you're just thinking about starting out, avoid the airport to start out, right? Get at least 100 rides in or something like that before you consider picking people up from the airport. Drop people off at the airport before that, you know, anytime someone needs to go there. And you get an idea of just kind of, there's a lot more to the airport and driving airport strategy than it is just kind of parking outside of a bar or a business district and waiting in the suburbs, wherever, uptown, downtown, and picking people up. There's a little more to this. All right, the last and final time that it is amazing to drive is when there are bad weather events, such as if there's a snowstorm or if it's going to be raining all day. These are amazing times to drive because the people that are normally biking, walking, aren't doing that. People don't want to wait at bus stops. Other people just don't want to drive during these time slots, so they'll get a rideshare ride. And one of the awesome things about this time slot too is that, so there's A, more ride requests, more passengers wanting rides, and B, there's less drivers, rideshare drivers, that want to be on the road for these time slots. So prime time generally spikes tremendously. I've had before like an entire snowstorm where I was driving for like 12 plus hours and most of the rides were at least 3 times standard rates. It's ridiculous. I saw as much as like 7 times standard rates on that day. So that's just absolutely insane. And if you're okay with driving part-time and getting on there on the roads, if it's snowing a little bit, if you enjoy driving in the snow, obviously if you don't feel comfortable driving in the snow, don't do that. But if you do, this can be a great time to make a lot of money in just a short period of time. If you like that video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to see the rest of my free content on my YouTube channel. But I also wanted to let you guys know that I also have a Lyft Driver course, okay? A course that breaks down the top strategies that I have learned as a Lyft driver that's given over 5,000 rides on the Lyft platform. The top strategies that I now utilize to increase my income as much as possible on the Lyft app, okay? And then also ways of decreasing my expenses as much as possible to ultimately be the most profitable driver that you can be. Okay, so if you're interested in content like that, I highly recommend you check out my course, and I have a link to that course in the description box of this YouTube video, okay? It is premium content, it is a paid course, but I also have a bunch of free videos on that course page as well, so you get an idea of what you will be learning in the course. But I highly recommend you check that out if you're a Lyft driver that wants to make as much money as possible. All right, with that being said, happy driving, guys. Have a good one.